mine and ours. It's quite the household. We spend a lot of time on sports fields. And if you're in our city, every kid has plenty of sports space. I did a lot on bicycle lanes for schools, tied bicycle lanes and pedestrian walkways between the high school, the middle school, the college, and a couple of elementary schools. So I really was focused on what made our community work best. Then I went on, so that was 8 years in government, and then I went on to do 3 years in nonprofit. So the nonprofit I run raises money for Healthy Kids. Anybody know what Healthy Kids is? A few of you do? Come on, raise your hand high, Marie. In our county, we have Medi-Cal, Healthy Families, and Healthy Kids for Kids. And when the Healthy Kids program started, 1 out of every 8 kids in this county did not have health coverage. And that means medical, dental, and eye coverage. And now we're at 96% coverage. We were the first county in the United States to go for universal health coverage, and not everybody knows that. We had a measure last time that had 6 out of every 10 voters, but needed 7 out of every 10 to have a financial method to keep the program going. Without that, I'm still fundraising for that program. But 1 out of every 3 children in this county is on Medi-Cal, Healthy Families, or Healthy Kids. And they do get their big part is dental. If kids don't have dental, they can get their care emergency-wise in the hospital, but if they don't have dental, they don't. It's pretty tough. And we've been able to prove statistically that children that have medical, dental, and eye actually go to school more. On average, they attend school 3 more days a month, which is, if you think about it, a whole more month a year. So when you see data on the kids doing better on testing and where their attendance is better, Alum Rock, which is on the east side, had an attendance of 80% in 2006. Now they're up to 96% in all their schools. And we believe part of that's because they have health coverage. So from that, I've always felt there's kind of a pattern in life, and they're doing a lot of new studies on it. Gary, you're still getting a lot of sun there. Are you going to get burned? That if they can do studies in counties, that if you can tell them your zip code, they can tell you on average how long you're going to live by that zip code, because they've looked at all the death certificates for 40 years. So there's new studies that show, the length of your life can be very affected by your health, because if your health is good, you're much more likely to get educated. And if you're more likely to get educated, you're more likely to get a good job, which means you're more likely to live in an area where your children do better, which means you live longer. So there's this cycle that goes on that has a lot to do with health, education, and then your job, and that affects the economy. So I feel in the county, it is the objective, my goal, is we must make sure that next generation living in this county can frankly support us when we need Social Security. And so I am very focused on how can we make sure that we can build a population that will have jobs when they get out of school and will be able to live in this county. So that is my focus and my interest in running for county supervisor. What's next? The voters, when voters vote, they do usually get through all the state propositions, but there's a huge fall off after state. I think last election there was a 60 to 80,000 voter fall off between state vote and county vote. So my objective is to try and get the word out as much as possible. The primary's in June, but there are probably 110,000 voters in this county that will vote. And I need to get at least 51-52% of those voters voting for me in June. So it's there are 390,000 citizens in this district. There is roughly, I think, 190,000 voters. and then roughly 110,000 will likely vote in the next election. So, if you can help get the word out, go to my website. It's very easy, kathleenking.org. Give me feedback. I have some envelopes of the next event and some business cards if you'd like to take them, and if anyone has questions.